Welcome to Fear the Fallen's Weekly Highlights. I'm Arctic Blast, and this week I'm joined by...
Deadborn 1.
And Herbie 1994.
We start off with AJ Steele and a Cruiser Mark IV on Malika Nova. This week it looks like he decided it was just time for some retro gameplay.
He's using a really good tank for the tier. That pom-pom gun can really tear apart anything that it comes across.
No kidding, and these low-tier players and someone with experience just... It's like candy. It's just easy.
It is easy, but you have to deal with the fact that a lot of your teammates are inexperienced, so you can't really count on them as you would in a higher tier battle.
True.
Sure, but if you have the gun and mobility of this tank here, it makes it a little bit easier on yourself.
Yeah, and that pom-pom, the ability just to lead, I mean, the first shot misses and the second shot hits it dead on. I mean, if you're leading properly.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
And this poor T1.
Enemy armor is hit. They're knocked out.
Yeah, poor thing never stood a chance.
But then again, you also see that in the high-tier games of when you see someone taking a lot of damage and they don't understand to back up.
Yeah. So, you know, he wasn't able to pull off a win for his team, but he did get himself a top gun. Next up, we have Death from Above Convict and his E75 on Serverovsky.
E75, strong tank if you keep it angled, which it seems to be what he's doing right here.
Yeah, and I was surprised he didn't shoot that guy in the back. I mean, somehow he spotted the fact he was about to jerk back before he pulled his trigger.
Just good teammate awareness, something I struggle in sometimes when I'm in the sniper view. It's hard to see, but apparently he has a good awareness of it.
Yeah, and he's actually in this battle with Fireball, and you know, here at the later stages, they actually have some pretty good teamwork. You know, I mean, you know, Convict, you know, weakens them off here. You'll see it here in a second, and you know, and Fireball finishes off, gets the kills, and you know, I mean, it's a teamwork that paid off. I mean, they were each able to come away with, you know, I mean, right there, you know, Fireball gets the shot, he's up to 2 kills, you know, Convict's already at 3, and then right there, right at the end, poof, Fireball gets his 3rd kill, and they get a brothers in arms.
Good job.
Here we have Crazy Bob 82 in his E100 on Airfield, and he absolutely, I don't know, I think he prefers this tank over any other tank, and I think it's because it's the top of the line, and he doesn't have to worry about going anywhere with his crew. He can just leave him this tank for forever.
Enemy armor is damaged.
The one thing he doesn't like is the fact of how much this tank costs, though, but then again, it's his own fault for slinging gold.
It's pretty common with all the tier 10s. It takes a while to run it, but especially with shells that's big as this one fires.
Yeah. And he decides here at the end that he's just going to focus on these arties. I mean, he has this little pipsqueak bugging him, but he's like, no. I've already killed one arty. There's arty number 2. I must get the 3rd and final arty.
And ignoring an RU-251 like this could be a very dangerous thing because it does have a very good gun, but apparently it pays off for him.
Yeah, and it's not like they put away the match yet. I mean, it's still pretty close at this point.
You really got to imagine what that scout's thinking, that just E100 is completely ignoring him, just letting him just rack up the damage. Just, oh, nothing's going on, nothing's going on. Whoa, crap, now I'm the only one left.
Now it's your turn, little boy.
And then he makes use of the terrain pretty good here and just sort of cuts him off so he can't just keep circling him.
Yeah. It's always a good thing to do in big heavy tanks that are slow turning.
So he comes away with this Piscosi, and he was bragging about that. I mean, anytime you can take Sky Cancer out in magnitude like that.
Gotcha.
So here we have Herbie in his Hetzer up on Erlingberg, and I think we'll let Herbie call this whole one.
Well, I'm sitting here on top of this ridgeline. It's an encounter. I'm trying to make sure that the enemy can't cap. And I can see that I'm pretty much the only one getting kills here. I have a giant howitzer that can do all this damage to all these tanks. And I'm sitting here just racking up all these kills of all these tanks that are showing up in view. Nobody can see me, really.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
Yeah, and you know,
Kill
pretty
the
good job
artillery
here.
and
Just,
everything.
Critical.
yeah, I mean, and just freaking
I eventually
racking
see
up the
that.
kills.
Enemy vehicle destroyed. They killed our driver.
I eventually see that we're losing, and if I'm the only one getting the kill, so I slowed the heat in order to make sure that all my shots penetrate and kill everything I look at. And I spent a little time here doing a little bit of runaround with this VK.
Oh yeah, I actually like how you were at first up against the rock, and he was just getting that constant proxy spot on you, and you
So
must
I
have been
backed
like,
off, yeah.
exactly. I mean, that's the mistake a lot of people make is they just sit by the rock and they wonder
And
why
then-
they just can't.
And then I saw that T40.
Bail out. This vehicle
Yeah, unfortunately, he saw you too. But you know, 8 kills. I mean, that's really good. I mean,
That hurt me.
yeah. So here we have Fire Blaster and his IS-3 up on Sand River.
And he's angling the thing.
Well, he is. You have to also see that he is a little bit hulled down, so.
Regardless, you don't angle an IS-3.
Well, and what you don't see here is the fact that 2/3 of his shots bounce off that Conqueror also.
Well, he is shooting at the gun mantlet, and the Conqueror's gun mantlet is pretty good.
See, you can't tell me he's hold down right there.
No, not there, he isn't. But he
And this-
lives,
this-
he lives.
And this stupid TD just rolling out in front for him.
The prototype has, what, 200 millimeters of front armor? Why would you roll side on to an IS-3?
close targets.
I don't know. Maybe he got tired of sitting in the back.
Nice little
Maybe
use of
second-
cover there.
Fire.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
And of course, with his platoon mate coming around, you know, AJ Steele
Yeah.
there.
AJ in the 32, in the T-32.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
Playing a little peekaboo. Now, Russian accuracy, if you sacrifice enough, it will work.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna take that kill on that Fury as a shout out to Convict.
Target.
So here we have Free Penguins in his Object 430 version 2 up in Lakeview, and I mean,
I'm gonna go on a limb here and say that's his favorite tank.
you know, if this isn't his favorite tank, then his T59 is. But between the two of them, I mean, he could write a book on how to play them.
Well, the fact that he's taking a medium tank, and especially one with such an awkward turret for like your normal player, and he's going in and just like abusing heavies.
He's playing heavy tank role.
Yeah, and he was at 3 kills before he even got his first damage on him.
We're immobilized. Enemy is hit.
Ooh, now he's taking shots.
Target.
He kind of got sandwiched there, but
Enemy armor is hit.
they had the numbers, so he was able to take that kind of risk.
Side shot, please.
Destroyed.
It's such a low
stupid
profile
heavy
tank. You
tank.
can make those shots through those archways.
And then
Penetration.
able to be low profile, he's able to dip around these buildings and get some cover, and to get a rolling shot on an arty like that.
Yeah.
Enemy armor is hit.
Hit him in the rear.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
But I think the best part is right here. I mean, he just loves taking this tank and just charging with it.
Taking those awkward approaches. Nobody sees it coming, and then boom.
They're knocked out.
Here we have Deadborn, and once again, he's stuck on Himmelsdorf in his S51.
And so he's decided to go all angry TD mode.
That is my thing. Is I hate being on these maps with my artillery. But if you notice the kills, just watch how many kills I get. I thought I was gonna die just right there because those are
Yeah,
so
right there.
But no.
Actually, and what's worse than being on Himmelsdorf in an arty is when you're in an arty platoon, which they were.
Yeah, that
And
was.
shotgun.
Oh, I was not happy, as anybody who can tell. And I challenge anyone who calls arties clickers, because I've got more kills than most of my team just right here.
Yeah, and you're in an artillery.
Got a medium coming up behind him. Yeah, let's just drive in front of my gun. Thank you.
More shots like that, please, Deadborn.
And here I am up on the Arctic region of all places. Imagine that, Arctic blast in the Arctic region. And I'm in my S100, and I'm just doing what I do in this tank. I just roll up on tanks and blow them up.
You seem to be having fun in this since you got that big gun.
Oh yeah, I mean, I had my doubts about the tank when I the first two guns, but once I got this big gun, it was like, oh yes. Even with that 11-second reload, it's still, I mean, when it hits, it hits, and when it doesn't hit, it tracks.
The reload and the aiming time are a big downfall, but the sheer damage that the thing pumps out is just so fun.
Yeah. And when you have a team that lets you position yourself in such a way where I don't have to be up close, I'm able to sit back.
And you gotta really hand it to some of these enemies. Like, you got this guy right here that just, if you see an SU-100 eliminating just tank after tank heading your way,
Well,
probably not a good idea to sit in the open.
He wasn't exactly looking at me. He had two heavies chasing him around the around the hill.
Well, regardless.
I could think of better spots to sit and engage two heavies than right there.
True.
Critical hit.
But I am a little low profile. I have some pretty good camo on my crew, so I have a tendency of not being seen. Here we have Shadowhawk in his T57 AT and Redshire, and this is by far his go-to tank. When I tell him on a Thursday evening that, hey, I don't have a video replay for you for this week, and he's like, okay, well, I'm just going to hop in my T57 AT and get you an ace tanker battle.
And he does it. He does it quite well. He
it
plays
only
more
took
of
him
an assault gun.
Yeah, and it only took him one try, too. I mean, literally, like, 8 minutes after I told him I needed a replay, he's like, there you go.
Enemy armor is hit.
And you gotta love that, especially with how he plays, is you can just tell from this replay, especially for those of us who platoon with him quite often, is this is him just going out and being like, you know what, no, screw it, I'm getting kills, I'm taking you out, you're coming with me whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
Yeah, and after he does that whole mad rush, I'm going to pretend I'm a heavy tank, he takes a couple shots here, true TD style.
Trying to be an actual TD for once. And does quite well in it.
Enemy armor is hit.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with freaking long distance kills and high damage.
But then
you
he
know, the
gets
battle-
bored.
Yeah, the battle's winding down, everyone's hiding behind hills, so you know what, why not just charge them?
Enemy
On the move as well.
Pulls off 5 kills, not too bad for, just going for it.
ready to fire.
And here we have, last but certainly not least, we have Fireball 2561 in his T57 Heavy Tank on steps. And he just decimates with this tank.
Ready to fire. Enemy armor is damaged.
And correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but this thing is one of the least armored tier 10s in the game.
Besides the French, yes.
Fire.
Yeah, well, besides the French, of course, besides the French.
Target on.
But regardless, the fact that this thing, and he just ignores that tank right there, seeing his allies got it, but
Permission to engage. Enemy armor
just
is
going around dumping clip after
Enemy
clip.
armor is damaged.
Yeah, and I think he ignored that tank because he had just finished putting his clip into it, and he figured by the time he reclipped anyways, 1, he'd be gone. I mean, it'd be gone, and 2, the cap was, being capped, so, he needed to get rolling there anyways.
We didn't penetrate their armor. Enemy armor is damaged.
I almost feel sorry for that little light tank. The fact
It's
that,
always fun when you can catch the rear of an enemy tank with an autoloader.
Fire.
yeah,
Enemy armor is destroyed.
just take his tracks out, get him stuck in place, and just finish him off. And then I like here, he just, while he's, he locks onto the target while he finishes reloading,
Armor is
and as soon as he's reloaded, he just unloads.
Finishes them off.
So that wraps up this week. As always, don't forget to subscribe and vote for your favorite replay. This is the last replays for November, so next time starts a new month, so just keep voting.